Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm in the car and it's March 5th or 6th, I don't even know, and it just started snowing again. It wasn't snowing when I left the house, and then 2 seconds later started snowing. So that's what I'm dealing with. Luckily I brought my coat because I was just gonna go out with my sweater, but that would have been a bad idea. So anyway, today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, is a book shopping. Come to the bookstore with me, look around, see what we can see. I don't know if we're gonna come out with anything or not. I feel like I actually haven't been here in a while. It's a Monday, and it was the Mondayest Monday of them all. It was quite the day. So I definitely felt like coming out for a bit. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go in, we're gonna look around, we're gonna see what they have. I don't know if I'm gonna get a drink or anything like that, but I probably will just kind of hang out and chill. And hopefully the snow will let up a little bit because it's literally miserable outside. Kind of like don't want to get out of the car. I don't know if you can see it. Super wet, gross snow, but the books are calling and the books are worth it. So let's go. I just got back into the car and this is what I'm currently looking at. So fantastic. All right then, so you're probably gonna hear the, because I have all the vents and the heater and the defroster going. I'm gonna let it thaw a little bit and then I have a feeling I'm gonna have to go out there and scrape. So I think I'm just gonna head home. Actually, I'm trying to decide. I didn't go to Starbucks and get anything there. There's a, I have to see if they're open, but there's like a Chipotle kind of like on the other side of the parking lot. And I'm thinking that maybe I may get myself, I hope you can hear me. I'll put it down like one. I may go get myself some Chipotle because number one, my husband was, I told him I'd be home in time for dinner and he was sweet enough to just send me on my way and he said, you know, just stay out as long as you want. If you want to grab food, grab food. And I wasn't going to, but now that I think about it, I am inclined to head to Chipotle and maybe grab myself like a burrito bowl or something like that. I did pick up a few things at the bookstore. There was like a few things I was looking for or like that I just kind of had my eye out for. I couldn't find, but that's okay. I did get a couple, like I did get a few things, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait and I will do the haul. I'll do the book haul in this video, but I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna do it in the car because it's chaos. I have to go brush and scrape and stuff and the vent is on and all the things. So I will wait until I get home and then I will show you guys what I got from the bookstore. Okay, so I was try my best to film in there. Whenever I film in public, I don't want to be obnoxious about it regardless. And I try to take into consideration people around me and like stuff like that. But today, of course, I guess maybe it's because of the weather. I mean, it is a Monday as well, but I think because of the weather on top of it, there was like virtually no one in there in terms of customers. There was like a handful of people in there the whole time I was in there, and I was probably in there for a good like hour and a little bit. The problem was that there was so many employees working, overkill, and I was being approached literally every 5 minutes. I was like, somebody was coming over to me asking me if I needed help. Are you still doing okay? And then I'd have like the same person multiple times, or like multiple people would come over multiple times. Are you still okay? Are you still good? Tried to get as many clips as I could, but at the same time, they wouldn't leave me alone. This location is notorious for that. And I'm just, honestly, tell me if I'm the only one. I don't want to sound like I'm being rude or anything. I know they're doing their job. I am I go into any kind of store and I kind of just want to be left alone. If I have a question or I need something, I will actively find you and ask you for help. But if not, I like to go in and do my thing, look for my stuff, bookstore, clothing store, whatever it is. I'm kind of just like, just let me be and I will come to you if I need something. Am I the only one? Not in a rude way, but just sort of like when I go out, I want to just be in my space and do my thing. I don't really want to talk to anybody, and it's like every time you touch something, somebody says something, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that's a really good book, I read it too. Have you read the series or something like that? I pick up a piece of clothes and it's like, oh, you know what would go good with that? And I'm like, I know I'm sounding so mean, like I'm listening to myself and I'm sounding so mean, but I know I can't be the only one. Okay, let's go get some food. So it is definitely not the same day that I went book shopping. A little bit after that. Nonetheless, I wanted to share a book haul. And what I actually thought I would do, since I'm here anyway, I would share the books that I got when I went to Indigo. And then I would also share a book haul of just the books that I've got in the last little bit. I haven't hauled. I mean, I haven't really done a book haul because my channel is new. So this would probably be, yes? Yeah, this is my first book haul. Some of these things are from Amazon and some of these books are actually thrifted from Goodwill. So starting at Indigo, I ended up getting the next 3 installments of Spy Family. I haven't read a ton of manga. I've basically read Spy Family, Snow White with the red hair. Not the whole entire series, but I have Sailor Moon. I literally grew up watching Sailor Moon. Oh, and I started reading like a while back, The Promised Neverland, which I ended up DNFing because I obviously did not know enough about that series going into it, and it was just a bit much. It was a bit intense. So, but anyway, Spy Family is pretty much the only one that I have continued to read through the series, and there's actually not that many, but I've read volume 1, 2, and 3. Have I read volume 4? No, I haven't yet. So I've read 1, 2, and 3, and so I got 4, 5, and 6. Here's number 4. That's their cute dog. And then this is, I believe this is the brother, right? Yours brother? Yeah, I think that's Yours brother. And then actually on this volume here, I don't even know who that is. I don't think I know who that is. So I think this is a character that we haven't been introduced to. But I'm super excited to read these, and I don't even know. There's just, is there 7 volumes, 8 volumes? Like there's not very many more. I'm really excited to read these. This is such an easy read. Like sometimes I like to pick these up in between actual, you know, like novels, books, and it's just a great like palette cleanser. You've probably heard of Spy Family, but if you haven't picked up Spy Family, you will be hooked. My 2 teenage kids, I got them into it as well. They love it. So yeah, so I got those 3, and that's pretty much what I got from Indigo. I picked up, this was actually, I found this at Costco a few months back, and it's A Spoonful of Murder by Jenn Haul. I've seen this book here and there. If I'm not mistaken, is this like a series of books? I think there's like a series, or is it just like sort of like the Thursday Murder Club? I could be wrong, but anyway, I have heard of this book. From what I can tell, I think it's supposed to be like what's considered a cozy mystery, kind of like along the lines of like Finley Donovan or The Maid, something like that. It says milk, 2 sugars, and 1 dead body. And at the back it says, quite simply, being involved in a murder was something they would never have set out to do. So I don't, aside from what I said, I don't know too much about it, but I think that it has to do with like some retirement community and some of the residents basically getting together to solve a murder. So I have a feeling that maybe there'll be some humor in here too, but I'm excited to give that a read. So I got that. I'll go to Amazon and then I'll do my thrifted finds. I ended up getting Daisy Jones and the Six. I read this, I talked about, I think, in a video, that reading this book was actually what got me back into reading right around lockdown, pandemic time. I read this on my iPad, like through the Libby app. I loved it, like I loved it. And it was kind of, it was just before really it got hyped up. Like shortly after that I started to hear a lot about it, but kind of just like stumbled across it, and I just loved the format, the interview style format. I loved the writing, the story, everything. I cried, of course I cried. Just before Christmas, I ended up getting it again from Libby, but I got the audiobook because I had heard that the audiobook was fantastic, and it is. So if you, even if you've read this and you haven't listened to the audiobook, I highly suggest that if you can, to take a listen, because it's like a whole cast. It's just a whole production. It's so well done. I cried again. I just thought at that point I'd really like to have a copy of it. Now I already knew that they were coming out with the TV show. I had already started seeing the new covers that were like not the Netflix, the Prime, the new redone cover for the Prime series. It's not that I don't like it, but I really wanted was the original one because I don't know, it's like nostalgia. I don't even know. But every time I read it, like it was this copy, do you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I had in my mind, was this cover. I wanted to make sure I got it because I wasn't sure if it was going to be one of those situations where you could never find the original again. I picked up this one from Amazon and I was like hoping that this was the copy they were going to send me, which they did. When I went though to Indigo, this last visit, they had both. They still had quite a few of these and quite a few of the new covers, so I don't know if they're going to get rid of it completely. It's, again, not that I don't like the new cover. In fact, now that I've watched the show, it's not that I like it better, but if you've watched it, then you know. But they couldn't have cast a better cast. It was totally what I envisioned. They just, the whole book to series and the people they picked for the characters couldn't have been more perfect. So now that's how I see Daisy. I see Daisy as Daisy in the series. And yeah, I've already finished the series and I cried. I cried again. Then speaking of like original covers, so I haven't read the Throne of Glass series. I want to, but I haven't. I'm looking on my bookshelf. I have Assassin's Blade and I have Throne of Glass, but I haven't read them. And I have the original covers, you know, with her on the front. Probably in the last few months, they have redone all the covers. And honestly, I can actually say with a passion that I do not like the new covers. This whole like cartoony vibe, if I find it, I'll maybe put a picture here. I don't know. Sometimes they redo covers, like I've seen a lot of like Colleen Hoover books redone, and I think for the most part they have done a good job redoing the covers. But I don't know, I thought the original covers were great. I still think they're great. I think because of the kind of book it is, a fantasy book and stuff, I think having her on the cover and I love it, and I don't like the new covers at all. I was scrambling to try to get as many of the books that I could with the original covers. Now, unfortunately though, in the stores, they were all gone. You couldn't order them online through the bookstore, and in the store, it was kind of like check stores. None of my stores had them, and every time I look, there's no stores near me even remotely that have them. And then on Amazon, it was like hit or miss. So basically I was able to get, I don't even know now, I think it's so I have Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and then I have Crown of Midnight. That's the next one. Would this be considered book 3? Because I don't know, do you consider Assassin's Blade part of it, or is that supposed to be like a prequel thing? I'm not sure. I love these covers. I think they're so good, and the colors and everything. So I got Crown of Midnight, and then I got, let's see, well, I got Empire of Storms. I think it's supposed to be Queen of Shadows after this one, which I don't have, but I got Empire of Storms, and that's the cover for this one. I just love these covers. I think these covers are superior to the new covers, but now I cannot find the rest of the series anywhere in these covers. So I have 4 books and I'm missing one in between of the original covers, and I can't find them anywhere. I'm sure, like, I know there's people who do resells and things like that. I don't want it bad enough that I want to like pay a lot of money for it. If you know somewhere that's still selling it, I tried like Book Depository. They had a couple of the hard covers. I just want the soft covers though. But even there, like every once in a while you'll find like a one-off, but for the most part, I can't find them. So I'm a little sad about that. They've done, I feel like they did the same thing. What else was I looking at? Brandon Sanderson, Mistborn. Was it the Mistborn series? Now I like the UK covers of that. I really like the white and blue kind of UK covers. Those I was looking at, and if I can find them, I'll put it here too. It's the same kind of cartoony nonsense that I just don't like. I don't understand, but whatever. I just, if you like them, no offense. I just prefer the old covers. And the rest of these I got from the thrift store. The first one that I got was Greenwich Park by Catherine Faulkner, and I think it's a suspense. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it says gripping and haunting and gorgeously suspenseful. Okay, let's see what it says. A twisty, whip-smart debut thriller as electrifying as the #1 New York Times bestseller, The Girl on the Train, about impending motherhood, unreliable friendships, and the high price of keeping secrets. So this was one of those books where it's like, I've seen it, I recognize it, I've kind of heard about it, but I don't really know a lot about it. And it was in perfect condition at the thrift store, and I thought if I was going to get it, then would be the time to get it. So I'll probably maybe try this in the fall, and I'm in my suspense and thriller kind of, you know, mood. Next one that I got that I like did know about and I had contemplated getting, you know, myself, and then I found it at the thrift store. Again, it doesn't even look like it's been cracked open, like at all. And it's One by One by Ruth Ware. Some people love her books, some people not so much. We'll have to find out. This highly anticipated 6th novel is the Agatha Christie of our time, at the top of her game. So as far as I can see, they're at some sort of like ski chalet, and I'm assuming somebody dies, maybe. There's a storm. The group is cut off from access to the outside world. Oh, okay, yeah, and somebody from the group hasn't made it back from the slopes when an avalanche hits. I feel like this is like an Agatha Christie redo. I don't know if I have it. I have a few Agatha Christie up in my shelf. And Then There Were None. This sort of sounds like it could be a similar concept, sort of storyline. Yeah, we shall see. And then these two I actually just got like a couple of days ago, again, at the thrift store. And these I was actually really excited to get because I was keeping my eye out for these, and I actually have these on my wish list on Amazon. I was trying to see if the price was going to go down at all, because they're kind of like older books, and I was like, why are they priced so high still? And then I found them at the thrift store, so it was like bonus. The first one is Ready Player One. This has been around for a while. My son, he's already read this. He read the first and the second one, and I know he raved about it, but I know a ton of people rave about this book. I know a lot of people talk about this book and rave about it, even if it's not necessarily the genre that they normally read. Apparently it's just super fast paced, and like you really get into it really quickly. It says the year is 2044. Reality is an ugly place. The only time teenage Wade Watts really feels alive is when he's jacked into the virtual utopia known as the Oasis. It goes on about how there's puzzles to solve that the creator has made, and I think whoever solves them wins something, maybe. So it's kind of like a race, virtual world race, maybe. I don't know. I'm excited to read it. Like, I think it's going to be fun. And then the front it says Willy Wonka meets the Matrix. So, but yeah, I'm excited to give this one a shot. And the last book I got, one of my reading wrap-ups, I talked about reading my first Emily St. John Mandel book, The Sea of Tranquility. I kind of just picked it up on a whim, had no idea what I was going into. It didn't really even know what it was about or anything. I ended up loving it, like absolutely loving it. I was surprised, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the writing. I loved the whole plot, the whole story, everything, the characters, everything. And so I mentioned that I was interested in reading some of her other books. She has Station 11 and The Glass Hotel, and I ended up finding The Glass Hotel, again, like perfect condition. The spine is not even remotely, like this has not even been read. There's no way. I found this at the thrift store, and so I'm super excited to, I don't know if this was, no, I think Station 11 was probably the first one. I think this was the second one, and then Sea of Tranquility. And I talked about how there are sort of mentions in Sea of Tranquility, kind of nods and mentions to these first two books. And I think it probably gives you different, maybe a little bit of a different reading experience if you've already read these two books and kind of have that information. But I don't also think that you have to have read them to enjoy Sea of Tranquility, because I hadn't and I still thought it was fantastic. So, but I'm excited to read this and see if it is like along the same lines as the one that I read. It says, an exhilarating novel set at the glittering intersection of two seemingly disparate events, a massive Ponzi scheme collapse and the mysterious disappearance of a woman from a ship at sea. So interesting. In the last book there was time travel involved, so I don't know if this is going to be the same or similar, but I'm really excited to read this. So I think I'll be picking this up probably maybe even next month. That's it. That was my book haul. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 books. 11 books, that's pretty good. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, I would love it if you gave me a thumbs up and subscribed for more book content. I hope you guys are doing fantastic, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.